Hello, it's your girl Olufemi. Welcome back to another week of interesting discussions. Today, we're going to discuss the topic that I told you about last week. I said I was going to tell you one thing that I don't like about my culture. And I don't think it's necessarily a Yoruba culture, I think it's an African thing. And it's the fact that us parents, we like to impose on our children. What do I mean by that, you may ask? What I mean by that is sometimes we like to live our lives through our children. What we didn't get to accomplish in our time, we indirectly force our children to do that. And I'll give you an example. My oldest brother, when he was younger, after he got done with his high school, he took the exam and to the entrance exam to get into college, to university. That's what we refer to it as in Nigeria. And my dad was like, "Oh, you're going to major in engineering?" He said no. He flatly refused and said, "No, I want to be a medical doctor. I'm going to go to medical school." Because of that, he wasn't accepted that year. He waited 1 year and he retook the exam and he was able to get into the university as a medical student. And I've heard over the years a lot of situations. It happened to my husband actually. My husband wanted to be an actor. His mom flatly said no. What he said, being in Chicago, my mother-in-law pretty much called all the Nigerians that they knew and said, talk to your boy. So in essence, instead of pursuing his passion of being an actor, he wasn't able to do that. He majored in management information systems. And I understand that sometimes we see into the future, we know better than our kids, and we're like, you may not be able to do well financially, or instead of saying don't go in that direction, we can counsel them and say, you know what, until God breaks you through in this profession, why don't you do this? We did that with my middle child because she wanted to be a singer, and we're like, you know what, that's good. We see that you can sing. God has blessed you with a great talent, but in order to be able to sustain yourself until you don't know when God is going to make a way for you, why don't you do this? She didn't even want to go to college at all. She was gung-ho on, this is what I want to be. I want to be a singer. And God helped her. She went to college. She did excellently well in college. She graduated summa cum laude. So you can imagine somebody that God has blessed with so much knowledge and saying, I want to be a singer. If we hadn't counseled her, there's nothing wrong with counseling your children, but don't be adamant and say, no, this is what you're going to do. That's what I have a problem with. I had this discussion with my bestie from college about a month ago. I'm like, this is one of the things I don't like about our culture when we talked about some of the things that I plan to discuss. And she said it happened to her daughter, her oldest daughter, when she was in high school. You know how we're so interested in sciences. You're either an engineer, a medical doctor, what else, or a lawyer in Nigeria. At least in our era, things are changing now. And so there was a class that her daughter wanted to take. I can't remember. She said, oh no. She said, I sat with her and I said, no, we don't do this. We're from Nigeria. She said her daughter didn't say anything. Fast forward a few years down. The daughter wanted to go on a trip and my friend didn't want her to go. The daughter went up to her and said, I know you don't want me to go, but I will go on that trip. And she brought up the discussion from, it was maybe 5 years ago, and she said, I still harbor resentment towards you regarding that situation. My friend said that she was shocked that she said that. She was like, I didn't even think that she resented me for that. She didn't even voice her dissatisfaction. And I think it's because we don't have the necessary conversations that we should have with our children. We're just saying, okay, I'm the parent. You will do this. Otherwise, it's either the highway or my way or the highway. And there's a place in the Bible that says we should not provoke our children, just as much as it says that our children should be obedient toward us. They should obey us. And so I just want to implore us parents, before I do that, I want to talk about this again. Our generation is different from their generation. Their generation, they'd like to ask questions. We didn't ask questions of our parents. So we think because the way our parents were able to get away with that, we can get away with that. But again, we're raising African children in a Western culture, and they see and hear everything that's going on. A lot of them are like, no. They even refer to us as Nigerian parents. So your kids, depending on where you're from, they may say Ghanaian parents, because they're like, oh, they're this, they're that. So we really need to take a step back and start having those kinds of conversations with our children. So the reason why I said that is their generation now, with their weddings, they want to have it their way. They don't even mind paying for it. Whereas in our generation, pretty much, like my dad paid for my wedding, our parents paid for our wedding. Because they paid for our wedding, they were able to plan everything the way they wanted it. They wanted more of their friends. Whereas this generation, they're like, I want to have it my way. I'll pay for my wedding. And honestly, it's not our wedding, it's their day of joy. Yes, the parents should be involved, but it should be more of them having what they want. There's nothing wrong with having that discussion. When my daughter got married, we broke it down like, okay, a wedding is a family affair. But at the end of the day, it's your day. But we were able to come in and support them. And we were able to do things as a family because we sat down to have that discussion. So it's not fair to say, oh, I'm the parent, I'm going to have it however way I want. No, because those kids too, they have their own mind. They're individuals. God created them wonderfully and fearfully. They're individuals. So we should try and sit down and have conversations with them. This is what I told you I was going to talk about this week. And I hope that, again, I said last week, we're not going to fight about it. This is my opinion. This is the way I see things. I'm sure it's different from the way you see things, or maybe we're on the same page. But either way, that's what I wanted to talk about last week. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, comment, and share. Let's go viral. Thank you. See you next time.